So we're recording.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so today we're doing round 2
Yes.
with Laura
Bison. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
On her book, Spiritual Nomad, right here. A Journey Within and Abroad. So I'd like to pick up where we left off.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about how some of your book readings you'll still choke up when you read them. So
Yeah.
what are those?
What are those?
Ones.
I think reading about the attack that I had when I was in Italy, that was tough to read. It's still tough to talk about also because it's like, I don't know, that happened so many years ago, but I feel like I didn't fully process it, to be honest. Like, I feel like I kind of had no choice at that time to just kind of go into survival mode because I had to get to the next city and I just had to be by myself. So I didn't like emotionally deal with it really, but that one was hard. Also reading about my brother was very hard. That one is always going to be a trigger for me. But I think it's therapeutic to read out loud. But it's definitely different when you read it out loud.
That's so funny. Those are two questions. Those actually are 2 questions that I was going to ask you. And I was nervous to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad you brought it up yourself. Like,
Yeah.
when I read that, I was like, like, there was a part where you write, I know you think I would have reacted this way, but this is just how I did in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel like there's so many stories like that. Like, literally, I had a babysitting interview,
Mm-hmm.
and it was this man and his son, and I went to his house, and I was telling him, like, you know, I'm an open book, like, you can ask me questions. And he has the audacity to ask me, like, oh, well, you're an open book, what's your bra size? And I'm like, what?
Are
like,
you serious?
Yeah, and you're so in shock that
Yes.
you're
Yeah. I totally get it because you can say like, oh, I would have cursed him the fuck out, but you're so shocked in that moment that somebody has the fucking balls to like say that to you. You're just like taken back almost. Like, that's kind of how I reacted in Italy too, where I was like, I've had that situation running through my head so many times, like, oh, God forbid anybody does something like that to me. I'm gonna fight tooth and nail, you know what I mean? And then it happens to you and you just like, I don't know, like, I froze. Like, I kind of fought back a little bit, but like, it could have been so bad. Like, he was such a big guy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just so grateful it wasn't worse, but like, yeah, that's insane. Like, for somebody to say that to you, that's insane.
And the way you wrote it, it was so like I really felt like I was you, like I was living it, like coming back to the room with the other girls, just looking at them like acting, literally acting like for your
yeah, it was tough because he had like his arm like around me, like just chatting and like laughing with everyone, with the 2 girls, and it was like, I'm like still in shock of what just happened, and I'm like trying to like get these girls' attention to be like, guys, 911. Like, this is not a fucking good situation. But I'm so glad one of them caught on to it, but it was definitely a very scary situation. There's even still moments of just in my own, like, I don't know, like in my own head where I'm like, was I sexually assaulted? Like, I almost don't believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, is that considered assault? I don't know, you know? So it's like, I haven't had the chance to really dive deep into it. And I think there's a part of me that doesn't want to.
Yeah. Because you don't want to, I think it also comes from like not wanting to be like, oh, I was victim.
Well, yeah, and I refuse to ever say I was a victim. I actually kind of refuse to
Exactly.
say that I was a survivor too. I don't like that
Yeah.
term either for some reason. I
Me,
just think
me neither.
there's something with it where I'm like, there's still some of that victimhood in it. I'm like, yeah, you survived, but I don't like to label myself like that. So it's like, I'm like, it is what it is. It happened, but like, thank God it wasn't worse, and thank God, like, we were able to get out of there.
Yeah. And then I don't remember if like someone called the police or what was that?
No. So when I came back home and I wrote the post about it, because I was like speaking with a friend when I came home, and I was like, I should write about this, but I don't know how. And so it was like a good friend of mine. His name's Teddy. He's like the coolest guy ever. He's super. I find him super wise. Um, he told me he was like, just write it, how exactly you're in the middle of that emotional like feeling with it, like to the point where you're almost tearing up. He was like, write it right now. So then I wrote the post, and then people were like, you didn't call the cops? And I was like, it's not like in the States where you call 911. I was like, I didn't even know what 911 was in Italy. Like, how was I
Yeah.
supposed to know who to call? And I don't know, in that moment you just don't think well, no, it's not that you don't think, it's just your first instinct is safety.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
not
shocked.
thinking of like, where's the police at?
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're alone and abroad in like a different country, you're just like, let's get out of here, let's do what we can, and then like let's reconvene. But I don't know why we didn't decide to do it. I honestly don't. We just thought like, we're out of there, we're okay, and that's it.
Um,
But I got backlash from it, from people. They were just like, you should have called, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, you know what, I was thinking of my safety at the time.
yeah. Yeah, my mom was like, because he said other things that were really questionable, and the thing that was the most like, oh, this is not okay, was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, you can't tell anyone about this, not even your boyfriend. And I was just
Oh
like,
hell no, oh hell no. Mm-mm.
and then I was telling my mom about it, and she was like, oh, you should like report him. And I didn't, because I felt like, no, I'm that situation's like last
Mm-hmm.
week.
Mm-hmm.
So I, you know, that I could imagine that. Like, yeah, reading that, I was like, oh my, that's when I felt the most like, wow, like I just felt so trusted,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
as a
it's difficult, but I think even when it comes to any sexual harassment or sexual assault or any type of Me Too movement like incident, it's so difficult to speak about, and it's so much easier looking on the outside to be like,
yeah,
why didn't you do this? You should have acted XYZ. But honestly, like, to me, it's almost like, until it happens to you, you have no clue how you're going to
yep,
react. You think you do,
yeah,
but you
yeah,
don't in reality know. And it's not like it's pre-planned. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's
exactly,
like it comes out of you, like it comes at you sometimes like out of left field, and it completely catches you off guard. And
yeah,
the Italy thing caught me so off guard, you know.
yeah. And then it's like you don't want to live in fear all the time, but you also, it's like a balance of being aware as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm. I mean, the only thing I did do was I reported his hostel or guest house to I think at the time I was using I think I might have been using Hostel World at the time. I reported it to them, what happened, and then I like left horrible reviews anywhere and everywhere I could find where he was at. Like on TripAdvisor, I said all those things. So he was taken down from Hostel World and all that stuff, and that was like the only thing I could do.
I mean, that's still like a pretty, you know,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
pretty big thing. Like, I think I really want people watching to to get from this, like, just do not judge, because unless
Yeah,
you're,
it's very, it's like, it's more complicated than you think.
yeah,
And there's like a lot of emotions with it that like you yourself have to process first before, it's almost like before you go and like do something about it, like reporting or whatever it is. I'm like, I need to wrap my own head around it,
yeah,
you know? And like, look at it. Like, that was what, 2014? That's a long time already.
yeah,
Like 6 years ago. I still have not truly like dealt with it. It's
yeah.
like, I ain't ready for that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too much.
I figured that was actually my question. I was gonna ask you, how did you recover from that?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of on the surface kind of dealt with it, where I was like, it is what it is. And I kept just focusing on the positive, that I was with two other girls. We were out safe and nothing super, super bad happened like, it could have been so much worse. Like, in my mind, I was like, he could have punched me in the face. I could have been knocked out. They wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't have known. So like,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's like, I just thought of it like that, and I was like, all right, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. But like, I know at some point I'm gonna have to deal with it, but it takes time.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
I think talking about it, writing about it, sharing other experiences, for
Yeah.
me, I think that's what would help me heal.
Yeah, for me, writing about it was definitely difficult, like, to write, because before I wrote the book, like, that chapter, I kind of pretty much, not completely copied and pasted, but I added more to it in the book. But it's very close to the original post that I posted on my website when I
Mm-hmm.
first posted it. That was so hard to push publish, because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no one knew. That's why I came home. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, you know, um, like, that's why, like, I'm trying to think. I just lost my train of thought. Because people were like, oh, well, why couldn't you keep going? You know, I'm like, well, I can't fucking blast that to the world. Like, oh, hey, I was sexually assaulted. That's why I'm coming home, everyone.
Yeah.
No, you know. But
Yeah, when my mom was like, "Did you get the job? Like, how did the interview?" I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be told. Why did you go to his house? Like, why did you, like, I don't want to
yeah,
be."
but like, see, but that's the shit right there. It's like, then you automatically wind up blaming yourself. Like, it's your
Mhm.
fault. Where I'm like, no, actually, it's his fault. He's a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
like, that's how you interview a babysitter? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is your problem? Like,
Yeah.
but then my mind goes left, and then I'd be like, well, I hope you don't do anything to your children. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who thinks like that? But, everybody's different. Everybody has their own process with, like, for you to heal from that. And it's like, and it's just become so normal, I think, for women to deal with that. It's like so common that I think a majority of people will blow it off and just be like, he's just being an asshole, or he's just being a douchebag. I had just before this
Oh,
call,
jokes.
like, I had a good friend of mine who texted me or messaged me that some guy was hitting on her on Instagram. She's been with her boyfriend for many years, and she was just like, I don't fucking understand. Like, why are you hitting on me? Like, it's not warranted. I don't want it. Like, why do I have to tell you to, like, fuck off? I'm like, it happens to me too. Like, I had somebody in my DMs, like, the other day said, like, are you single or married? And I was like, I'm actually married. And they were like, well, I don't see your ring on your finger in your videos. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, do I have to, like, have my hand right here while I speak? Like, I don't understand. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, well, you can scroll back to March in my post and see my wedding photos. So good luck. Have fun with that. It's just like so rude.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like looking at the person's profile, and he was like, you know, putting that he's like this, like, you know, such a giving, good person. Like, he's a huge organ donor. He has a huge following. I was like, oh yeah? I was like, do your people know that you're sliding into girls' DMs asking if they're married? Like,
Yeah.
I just don't like that shit. I really don't. It takes a lot sometimes for me to not blast people on my thing. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to fucking blast you everywhere. But I'm like, no, don't be petty.
Yeah, that's like the power of being a memoirist. Like I can I can just write about you, like
Oh yeah,
publish it.
you'll be a character somewhere somehow.
Yeah,
Someone just
exactly.
like, all right,
Exactly.
I'll remember that one.
That's how I do it. I'm like, okay, you'll be in my book. You'll be in my book.
At some
Fictional or
point.
non-fictional, or my movie. You'll be in something.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what inspired you to have the Spiritual Nomad T-shirts?
Yeah, yeah.
Which I love that idea, by the
Yeah,
way. I can't wait to
yeah.
get them.
Yeah, I still have hoodies and tank tops left, but I have, so the whole point was because when that happened, those two girls, we had to part ways. They went to Rome, and then I think I had to go somewhere else. And then I was back on my own. So I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have my friends. I didn't have my family. Like, I had my family, but like nobody was there with me.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of shove it down because I was like, otherwise I won't be able to continue.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I would complain sometimes about like certain things, and that wasn't the first thing. I don't think I don't remember if I mentioned it in the book or not, but somebody followed me home one time in Switzerland when I was living in that like tiny little shack thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him from the corner of my eye, and I was like, okay. So I was like, he's clearly following me. So, okay, I'm not going to go to where I live. Like, I'm not going to go to that little shack. I'm going to try to walk around the thing and see if he follows. And he was. And I was like, and then he was like, well, can I come inside? And I was like, no. I was like, but like the shack that I had, that little tiny house was like not thoroughly like secure. Like, it had a
Yeah.
lock and it had a key, but like anybody could kick that in. Do you know what I mean? So that time I was like, so then the Jerseyness came out of me, and I was like, if you don't get the fuck out of here, like, I'm gonna call the fucking cops. So I was like, fucking try me. Because he was like really close to my back, and I was like, I'm gonna ask, I was like, take one more fucking step. Go ahead. Like, I dare you. And then he got frightened, and then I took my bike and I drove to where I was working at the hotel, and like Alpenraft was the activities place that I knew a lot of the guys there. They almost like were like big brothers to me. So I went to them. I told them immediately like what happened. They were like, "Do not go back there." They were like, "Stay with one of us." So I wound up staying with someone that night, but they were like, "No, call the cops here." So I called, and the Swiss police were amazing. They took a report, they asked for a description, all that. So the guy never came back, but I was able to tell them like where he was coming from, and I don't know, nothing really came of it, but at least they knew. But like, that wasn't the first incident like while I was abroad that time. So like there was that, and then it was like the Italy thing. It was the serious like last fucking straw. I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know if I can continue. It was just too much. Just way too much. And it's just a shame that, you know, I don't know, like men, some, not all. I just feel like some men just don't act right. I don't know. Like, who fucking raised you? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand like where that came from in your upbringing that you think it's okay to treat women like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the second time, like the man, like he just like the that was the first thing that came out of his mouth. Can I come inside?
Yeah. He was like, "Can I come inside and rub your feet?" That's actually what
Oh
he
my
said.
god, no.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, and I was I was furious. I was like, and then I just like went full Jersey on him. I was like, no, you
Yeah.
need to get the fuck out of here.
Especially since you have that experience that just happened, that you still
No,
haven't
this,
processed.
yeah, no, this
Oh, that
was,
was first?
that was first, and then Italy was second.
Oh,
But by
okay.
the time Italy happened, I was so over it. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
this is too fucking much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. It was not cool, and it was very hard to just be by yourself. And then just tracking back around, that's why I created the Spiritual Nomad t-shirts or the whole thing, because I was like, I want, if I had someone, whether they were there or not, or let's say they were traveling too, and or somebody I could talk to where it's like, you're a traveler too, you get it.
Yeah.
Like, I was in one of the most beautiful places in the world, and I was
Yeah.
miserable. I couldn't
Yeah.
say that to my friends and family back home, or I tried and they just didn't understand. And they were just like, well, yeah, at least you're in Switzerland. I'm like, no, like I am miserable. Like, but as a traveler, you get it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you can be in fucking the beaches of Bali and be crying on the beach and understand, like, shit happen. It's just something different. I feel like when you're traveling, like, shit fucking really happens when you're traveling. Not that, not to like scare off people from traveling, but like shit goes down.
Yeah.
It's not always like happy and like fun. There's like some crazy shit sometimes that happens. Whether
Yeah.
it's like an attack like that, God forbid, or like you get sick. It's like, so I wanted to create kind of like a like a ally of like a community of people to like, hey, this is a non-judgment zone. Like, I get it. You don't even have to explain it. Like, I get it. So like if you were to ever see someone with that shirt on or whatever merch that I had, you could automatically know, oh, cool, I
Yeah.
have an ally. Because like I've met people while I was traveling where I would go to completely different cities and countries and I'd be like, didn't I just see you in Switzerland like last week? Like, how are you here?
That's
Like
so
that,
cool.
like that shit would happen all the time. So that's why I created that, because I was like, it's such a small world. So I'm like, you're gonna bump into this person at some
Yeah.
point. But you know, it was
I'm so excited for that. Like, I want to see that grow more. Like,
yeah,
I
I
want
do
to have the
too.
experience of it.
Yeah,
We're like, oh, we read the book. Like,
yeah. But then the whole point was to for it's like, you know, a friend of mine actually gave me the idea of like, it's like the giving key. So it was almost like you bought a shirt for yourself and you bought one for a friend. So at least you know automatically you have an ally. And for it to
yeah,
continue like that,
yeah,
it just didn't take off as much as I wanted it to. But I think this just kind of sparked an idea that maybe I need to talk about it more. Like,
yeah.
I think people don't truly understand where the backstory comes from and like why I created it.
There's when I was a swimming instructor, I taught the kids of this woman who her Instagram is the traveling child.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a woman who's spreading a message that you can travel with kids and like travel as a family. It's not just when you're single. It's not just,
Yeah.
you know, when you don't have other things in your life.
Yeah.
And she could be my ally. I could like send her a shirt
Yeah.
and
Yeah, absolutely.
that would be really great exposure for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I really want to see that, like,
Yeah, I have
and
yeah,
that's such a good way of like, it comes from a place of healing, of
yes.
turning something that was traumatizing into something that's powerful,
Yeah. Because
you know,
it's
for
like you're
good.
creating like it's like I'm creating like a bigger tribe, but within yourself you're creating a mini tribe. So um all comes together as like one big tribe or community of people that just get it, that will not judge you, and that have probably been through some shit, and you know, just understand the journey of it all. And it's a process and it's a healing process. And like that was the whole, and that's why that's why I named my book Spiritual Nomad too, because it's like, I think some people mistake the spiritual part and take it as like like super hippied out type thing where it's like, oh, it's like, it's not like that at all. Like it's more of it's seriously more about the journey of life and like, and just the ups and downs of it. Like that's what's spiritual to me. And
Yeah.
like when you're traveling, how much you grow and how much you learn about yourself and like just how much it changes you as a person. It's a journey. That's all I can say. It's a journey.
Yeah. So when did you start writing? Because it's from you being 17 years old till you being 23, I think.
Yeah, I think it goes up
Remember?
until 25.
25? Because
Or
you
no,
had,
sorry, it might be
right?
no, it might be older than that. I don't know, but it definitely goes. It's a long time, but
Yeah.
so I've always been writing. So like in my travels and all that, I've always had journals. So I was always journaling. And I think over the years, I just was like, I wish I could put it all in one spot. So like I think it was 2015, I decided, or no, maybe 2014, I truly decided to be like, okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to gun for it. Like, I need to like really put pen to paper or type it out or whatever and just really see if I can do it and see how it flows. Like, some people ask like, what's my writing? Like, I'm trying to figure out like how to make a video of it, of like, what's my writing process. And it's like, I can't really answer it because it's like, it comes so natural to me that I'm trying to think of like, how do I explain what my writing process is? It's very intuitive. So
Yeah.
like, I can only say like, I make sure that I I do very specific things when I write. Like I have to have a quiet house. Like the room has to be absolutely like almost dead silent. Like, is that's how I think. And then I also have like when I can't think of where to go next, a lot of ideas like pop up in other ways. Like I can't tell you how many times I've had to stop my car because I came up with an idea while I'm driving. I need to like, I keep like Post-its in my car because I'm just like, oh, no, idea. I got to stop and write. Or like when I'm taking a shower, I'm like, like that's really good. I should do it like that. Or just like really random things where like you're kind of in like a little bit of like a meditative state where you're kind of like daydreaming a little bit. That's when the ideas come for me.
So then, because I remember on Gary Vee, you said it's been 12 years. There was a while where no one was listening, and I've sold 65 books.
Mm-hmm. So 12 years is when I started my blog. So 2008, I started my blog, and then I was writing and like I did have a lot of traction back in the day. Because Facebook was just different back then, and blogs were the shit at that time. So then I made the mistake of changing my blog, and then I lost it all, like completely, like lost all my following on Facebook, like lost it. And then I kind of lost the luster to get it back up to where it was, and I changed it back because I was like, I was like, oh, I'm just going to be Laura Weisman and just do a brand and just whatever. It just didn't work. It wasn't for me. And I just was like, you know what? I can't deny the traveling part of me. And I just was like, I feel like there's two sides of me, but then I was always like feeling like I had to be one or the other and not both. So, so I had, I was writing for them and for those many years. I mean, I've always been writing, but never, I guess 12 years publicly, I guess.
So how did you get on Gary Vee?
So like Garrett, are you on his text message thing? Like, do you get his like text messages?
I tried texting him like twice, and it was like service denied, and I was like,
I think you have to sign up on his website. Like there's something on his website where it's like his text community that you can sign up. I think it's like that. I'm pretty sure because I did it a long time ago. But I've always texted him. I've texted him so many things. Like I've texted him like late night fucking thoughts where I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing, Gary? Like just I was harassing him. Like or like I would always tweet at him questions and then like you know that like I had a situation with my like hoodies that like it got fucked up or something and I was like, oh my god, like what do I do? I was like, I have all these hoodies and I was like, and they're fucked up or like they're just not, or it wasn't what I wanted or some, I forget what it was. And then he was like, I was like, Gary, you need to fucking answer me. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do, Gary? And like, I was surprised he actually answered back. And he was just, I forget what he said, but he was just like, you know, like make the best of it type shit. And then like, once COVID hit, then I don't know, like I just thought like this is an opportunity to talk to people that you probably would never have never have a chance to speak to. Because I'm like, everybody's home. This is a golden opportunity. Everyone is home. Like, this is the time to market. This is the time to like ask your favorite celebrities for shit. Well, not for things, but like to be like, oh, hey, like to work with you or like, can I ask you like this one question or whatever it is?
Yeah.
I was literally sitting on my deck and I was like, I'm going to text Gary one more. I was like, because I was thinking that in my head. I was like, let me text Gary. And I was texting him the question and whatnot. And then like a few minutes later, like I think I was on the phone with my sister and I was like, I got a text and I looked at it and I was like, oh, I was like, I have to call you back. I was like, Gary V just texted me back. Holy fuck. And then, so then like Zane actually responded and like got me on the show, but it was just super cool. Like, but that was on my, like, that was in my head for so many years. That was like on my vision board in my mind. Like that was like in my notes. I should like find my old notes where I was like, I just need one conversation with Gary, just one. I've always said that. I'm like, I know for myself, I just need one and that'll be it. And then it happened. So it was like awesome.
You witched it up. You completely manifested it.
Yeah. And I really truly believe in manifesting things. And it's not, you know, I write what I want in life, like this, for me to be an author full time and have this be my career. I've been writing like what it truly feels like as if it's already here. Like how good it feels to say, oh, hey, I'm a writer and I can sustain myself from my writing. Like, how does that feel? You know, and I write it down as if it's here right now, you know, and those, I believe, will manifest itself. That's not to say you sit there and just hope and pray. You still got to do the work. You still got to push and do the action part. But the energy of it, I believe, is what pushes it to manifest while you're doing the actual thing, you know, like doing the action.
And how did you feel on Gary V?
I thought I was gonna throw up. like before, because I was supposed to be on the day before, and then time ran out, so I kind of got booted off, and I was like, oh my god, no. I was like, I'm getting on this fucking show. And I like texted them back. I was like, I know for a fact I didn't miss my shot. I was like, you're going to have me on tomorrow, right? They're like, yeah, we'll get you on. They were like, I don't care if it takes a week, we'll get you on. I was like, okay, just checking. Because I was like, that would have been such a buzzkill. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he had like, I mean, a little similar to Zoom, but like you have like the waiting room in the back and you're just watching the people ahead of you. And I was like, I like am freaking out. I was like, because I know like my husband was watching. I was texting people. I was like, you need to watch. I'm going to be on. I was like fucking, I was like T-2 minutes, people. I'm going to be on. And I was like worried that like I was going to like I almost felt like I had like a frog in my throat. Like I was like,
Yeah.
hopefully I can get the words out. I was more nervous than like it showed, which I was
Yeah.
like, holy fuck. I was like, good. I was like, I could feel really nervous and still like not show it. Cause I was
Yeah.
nervous as fuck in the beginning. Like the first few minutes, I was like, oh my God. But no, and then it just got super easy to talk to him because he's just super Jersey. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Was it live? Like, were people like? Was it?
Yeah, it was his Tea with Gary Vee show. It was the live. Yeah, I got on. It was live, so people were like messaging and like texting and all that stuff. It was nuts.
Because I saw it like I don't think I saw it live. I
Oh
just
yeah,
saw
yeah. So no,
it.
it was live, and then like he was just like, he kept saying like, "Oh, you're at like 2,000 followers." I was like, I couldn't even compute what he was saying. I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not even paying attention to that. I was like, I don't care. I'm just like, I'm glad that I'm even just able to speak to him. And
Oh my God.
and like I don't know if it showed. Maybe it's in the full video, but like I know his little clips that he has, it doesn't show. And I think like you're a writer, and I think a lot of writers have asked like, is there a difference between self-publishing and traditional? And that was a question I asked because I was like, well, does it matter? Like, aren't you supposed to like do a traditional and like? But he was like, it doesn't matter. Just
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And like
What-
for me, it's like, why wait? So self-publish.
Yeah. I love that. That was my plan. Like after the rejections, I was like, okay, Rupi self-published, so I'll do the same thing.
It's a lot easier,
Um,
I think.
was he like your person to kind of like guide you? Because finding you, you became
Mm-hmm.
my person. You
Oh,
became
thank
my
you.
like, okay, what's Laura doing? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
I feel really guided by you.
thank you. Yeah, I just, I gravitate towards I'm a very no bullshit person. And whoever I follow is usually like someone like that who's like, like a celebrity status or whatever. It's like, I just love that rawness, like in that he's not playing by the rules, which is
Yeah.
very much what I do. And it's like, and plus, like, I don't know, I just love New Jersey. I love the Jerseyness. Like, I live in New York, which is not that much different, but there's just something about Jersey to me where it's like that Jersey attitude and like the hustle of it. And I just really vibed with it. And I would constantly hear all the people that he would um, speak with or the people who had questions. And then I would like see what he said and I just would go with it. And I was also watching what he was doing too. When I was noticing like, oh, okay, like he's going into cartoons now, or like, okay, he's going in on LinkedIn now, like I see it. So like I just really pay attention to what he's doing. I guess I was paying attention to everything else he was doing. I just wasn't doing video at the time.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, he's a cool person, and I hope I actually sent him a free hoodie, like as like a thank you. I and I think Dustin told me they're not going to be back in the office probably till like September, October. So I was like, well, that's enough time for hoodie season to be back. So he'll have a hoodie sitting there. But I was like saying in the note, I was like, I hope one day like I can like actually meet you and like hug you and thank you for real, like for all this and that. I hope by that time I can tell you how successful my second book will be, you know?
Yeah.
So I hope that little manifestation of me writing that to him will, manifest in real life.
That's so funny because with you, I was like, I'm gonna write her review, and I really hope like
Mm-hmm.
because for me it's important to let go of the attachment to the outcome because when I
Mm-hmm.
concentrate on that, that's when like it'll but I had that experience with you.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
had that with you. So then when you posted that, I was like, oh my God, it happened. It happened.
Yeah.
I got so happy. I was like, okay, I'm in her radar. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you predict the outcome of your book? Like, did you see that? Did you feel like you meant, did you intuit it?
Um, I think I don't know. I mean, everybody kind of thinks they're the shit, you know what I mean, in their own mind. And I think you have to have a little bit of that, and then also have a little bit of humility that you also suck ass also. And I think I have a mixture of both. I know I have a message. I know I have things to say. I know I have wisdom to be spoken of. And but I also am very humbled to know that I'm not an expert. Like, I don't claim to know everything about life or anxiety or whatever. All I know is things that I have learned personally, stuff I've learned professionally, and then also just stories and people that I've met while I was on my travels, because I can't tell you how many deep life conversations I've had with meeting people when I was traveling. Like, I was 18 years old. Like, I remember meeting like this like math teacher or something, and he was just like, wait, how old are you again? I was like, I'm 18. He was like, holy shit. He's like, I thought you were like 30. Not about like how, he's like, you don't look 30. He's like, the way he's like, you're a very old soul. Like, I could tell just by the way you speak. And like, I'll never forget those conversations. Like, and that happened almost over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I think you have to have the confidence in yourself that you know you have a message, and that you're gonna, there's gonna be people who really take to your story, and then there's gonna be other people who won't, and you have to be okay with both.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's not, because, people give me praise, and is what you guys see on the comments, but I get shit too in the DMs. I was like, people want to be, keyboard warriors or whatever it is, and say mean things or things I should be doing. But it's like, in the beginning of all this, like in the beginning of like right after I got on Gary Vee, like this was so overwhelming at first, and I was like, everybody was kind of nitpicking at everything, and I don't like that. Well, nobody likes that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle this. Like, I don't know if I can deal with so many people watching. But that was very short-lived. And I was like, I allowed myself to feel that and whatever. And then I was like, all right, I'm back to myself. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care what, some of them think, So it's just having confidence and not giving a fuck, but still being compassionate at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, not giving a fuck, but like, don't be a dick about it. But like, you still have the empathy and the compassion there. But you're also like, it's like, you're also going to say, like, I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself too. In the same sentence. So it's like a mixture of both.
Yeah. As a writer, you can just lay that in there. Yeah, before this, because my mom, she lives in Miami Lakes, and like, oh, a reporter just, wanted to interview me for the newspaper, this local newspaper. But so I ended up telling him about you. And the question was just, what are you doing this summer? And I thought it was going to be like a short little interview. I wasn't even that nervous. But he really went in on questions about my book and about my dad.
It's amazing.
And like, when it was over, I was like, I feel like throwing up. And I feel like taking a shit. Like, I was like, is this what Laura felt like? Is this what success feels like? Like, especially it being so personal.
It's very overwhelming, but it's very humbling, and it's surreal, and it's cool. It's very cool.
You have no idea how grateful I am that you're like on such a similar path as me. Like, I was like, I'm so happy I'm going to talk to Laura now. I'm so happy.
it's like, listen, I'm not that much more ahead of you. Like, I was more or less in the same spot as you 3 months ago. Like, and I was surprised it was only 3 months ago that I was on Gary Vee. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I was like, feels so much longer than that.
Yeah.
But so much has changed. Like it's like people have messaged me. They're like, I've seen your progression so much within day one till now. So, you know, it's a lot of, and clearly, like, you have the sorry, I'm just looking at the time. I have like 10 minutes or 5 minutes left. But you have the hustle in you, and I can tell that you really care about how your book looks, and and you're taking the time and the effort to do it, because like anybody can just get a cheap book cover design, and just throw it out on Amazon for $2.99 and whatever, and not, or edit it themselves and put it out there. Like I can't do that. I know a lot of people who do that, and it like saturates the market, because it's just like there's so many shitty books out there because people are just throwing shit that out there. I'm like, it takes time to like, I consider it's your own little baby. It's your own little masterpiece. A masterpiece like does not take it. There's no shortcuts with that.
Yeah. And that made me appreciate your book more, because I'm like, I know it wasn't just, oh, I just wrote it and then I just got a cover and then I just, like, no.
Yeah.
Like, I've had to edit the table of contents like 6 times.
Yeah. I was at the point where like I had my hair up like in a bun, but like I was just like kind of like moving my hair around. Like I looked like a psycho. Like when I was editing my book for the last time, I was like, and my husband was like, you literally have not moved. I was like, I'm not moving until I finish this shit. Like I sat there for like 6 hours. I was like, he was like, did you eat today? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, no, I'm finishing it.
Oh my God, I get that completely.
So blood, sweat, and tears go into every book, I think.
Yeah.
It definitely does.
But that makes it worth it.
You can tell, though, by someone's writing and just the quality of it. You can tell when somebody really has it, But it's exciting. Just wait till you get your first box of books. It's such a great feeling. It's so cool.
I'm like deciding a last question. It's hard to pick. Okay, I'm gonna ask, do you see yourself creating a book tour for yourself?
I honestly wouldn't know how to go about it, to be honest. And like, I just posted a recent video from Gary Vee today that made me think of like if I should do like speaking gigs or not. But like, I just don't know. Like,
Is it really out of your comfort zone?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I just I don't know. Like, I'm not like, I don't think I can do like Gary Vee level where like I'm on a stage and there's like thousands. Because to me, I think sometimes the message cannot be conveyed well enough. If you're talented enough to do it, by all means, like, because Gary's fucking amazing at it. But like, for me, I like the small, intimate type of thing.
Yeah.
And I could see myself doing that, where I don't think I would even consider it a speech or a conference. I would like seriously just call it. I'd be like, we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Or like, we're just having a conversation, and make it almost like you're hanging out with your girlfriends or your best of friends. Like, hang out, go have some drinks. Like, we're all just going to sit and chill the fuck out. Like, that's how I would want to do it, That would make me more comfortable, because it would just be like, then everybody else feels more comfortable to be open.
Yeah.
And vulnerable and stuff like that. But
I think you should do it.
Yeah. It would be very cool. I wouldn't know how to do it though. Like, or how to go about it.
I would go.
Yeah.
I would go.
It would be very cool.
Go. You can bring books and just like sign them and still keep the intimacy and like, you know.
Yeah, I'm just writing this idea down because I'm gonna forget. That's why I always have, if you're doing these things,
Yeah,
I always have a notebook with me.
because I met there's a place here in Coral Gables called Books and Books.
Mm-hmm.
And I met the owner. I was at a writing convention,
Mm-hmm.
and there was I think it was a book signing happening, and I just asked him like, oh, I'm gonna publish a book. Can I think I told somebody else, and I was half joking, like, oh, I can have a book signing here. I'm gonna have a book, like, you know. And then they were like, you can meet the owner right now and ask him. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, wow. That's cool. I mean, there's a bookstore that's amazing.
Yeah. So it's that easy.
Huh. Because there's a bookstore that I'm thinking of that's in my friend's town that maybe I should ask. Because it's in like a cool kind of like hip area by me. Maybe I should. I'd just be worried I'd just be sitting there and like nobody would be there.
No, I really think people would show up. Like, I really do. Like, you can just make a video and like make like a little invitation and be like posting it. I mean, I'm over here in Florida, but I want to meet you one day.
Yeah, we'll totally meet one day for sure.
Yeah, like
all this COVID shit is over with.
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention that, but in my head, I see us like both on the bookstore.
That'd be really cool. That'd be really cool.
That's what I see. And I'm still like, how did it go for Laura?
We could one day.
Yeah.
It'd be very cool.
So let me know what happens.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna think of these ideas and then like think of ways to somehow get it, do something with it.
Yeah. I believe it'll go great.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just thinking.
No, it's okay.
This is part of my process actually. When things pop in my head, I'm like, oh wait, hold on.
Yeah. And I get like an overwhelming feeling. I get like super excited and nervous because I'm like, oh my god, this could happen. This is gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then I say that I witched it up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I gotta jump on this next one. But yeah, no, this was a cool conversation. I'm glad we got to do like part 2. This was really cool. So I'm sure there'll be many conversations, but I'm excited for your book. That's exciting. I think it's a few more days or next week or something. For 2 weeks.
If contents comes out with the right pages, yeah.
Yeah. You'll get it. It'll be very cool. Is yours going to be paperback or is it hardcover?
I didn't see the option of hardcover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I only just said it because I forgot your original photo like looked like a hardcover.
Yeah, I wish. I was so in love with that.
I know, it was nice.
Precious. And then I came and I was like this, like it looks like this. Well, with the little. Yeah, mine came like that too, but I think I picked the wrong size and I didn't like it. I was a little sad about the colors, how they. Yeah. But oh well. It is what it is. It's about. I mean, the cover means a lot, but it's really the content of the book that matters. Yeah. You're gonna nitpick it and see like every fucking detail, like, because I'm not gonna say the details because then everybody's gonna notice it on my cover, but there's certain details on it that drives me fucking nuts, and I was just like, well, I just have to just deal with it. But like the average person, like I would ask my friends and family, like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't see it. I'd be like, okay, I see it, but sometimes you just gotta like let the perfectionist of you stop and just put it out there. Yeah. I was like, okay, if I can live with it, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, it was good to see you again, and then I will. Oh, let me. Oh wait, are we gonna?
Oh yeah.
We're gonna end it.
So like okay. So thank you so much.
You're
I got
welcome.
so like caught up in like just talking. I forgot people. This is like people are gonna see this.
Yeah, I
Thank you
know.
for watching.
Yes.
Thank you
All
for
right.
listening. Thank you for staying with us.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Bye.